Hello, I'm Oliver Colling, and this is a very special edition of the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. Hello again, and welcome back to a very special edition of our regular quiz. As regular listeners will know, we are a podcast which celebrates what it was like to grow up as a child in 1970s Britain, and the central part that television played in our childhood experience. Every fortnight we have a quiz to test our listeners' knowledge of 70s TV trivia, but this edition is a bit different, as you, our listeners, have provided all of the questions and answers. I'd like to thank all of you who submitted questions. I have been overwhelmed by the response, and apologies in advance for not being able to use all of the brilliant questions that you supplied. Whether you supplied one question or dozens, I thank you for your time and your efforts, and I am really moved and really grateful. What this does mean is that I can absolve myself of any blame for mistakes in the answers. As regular listeners will know, I do sometimes get it wrong. So this time I will definitely not get it wrong because I can blame it on someone else. But seriously, many thanks to our listeners for such a fantastic response. Without further ado, let's get on with the quiz. Now, normally we have 20 questions, but today we're going to have a few more than that to try and fit in as many questions as we can. Remember, it's just for fun, but we do enjoy it when we hear how competitive some of you are. And given the time of year, it's an ideal opportunity to challenge friends and family over a glass of eggnog for a particularly Christmassy challenge. All right, enough chat, and let's go on to the questions. And on to round one, which is called On Your Marks. And that's because it features questions from Mark D in South Norwood. Question 1. Which lead actress in The Squirrels had a semi-regular lead in the Carry On films, and also starred in Bless This House? Question 2. Apart from The Squirrels, which other famous ITV sitcom did Eric Chappell create? Question 3. Ron Ellis also starred in The Squirrels, but which popular children's comedy programme did he appear in? Question 4. In the 1973 children's comedy Robert's Robots, what was the name of the robot played by Brian Coburn? Question 5. In the BBC Two drama series The Expert, which ended in 1976, the great Marius Goring played Dr. then later Professor John Harding. But what was his profession? Question 6. In the BBC sci-fi show Blake 7, what was the name of the ship's onboard computer? And still with Blake 7, the Supreme Commander Severlan was head of the Terran Federation, but who played Severlan? So in Blake 7, who played Severlan, the head of the Terran Foundation? And question 8, in Rumpole of the Bailey, what was Rumpole's nickname for his wife? Some tough questions there, Mark. So what do we have in round 2? And this round comes from regular listener Lee C. in Salford, and is about sci-fi shows televised in 1979, and Lee has cunningly titled that round Space 1979. See what you're doing there, Lee. All right then. Question 1. Which American series debuted this year starring Gil Gerard in the title role? Was it Jill Gerard? I never thought to work it out. Gil Gerard, I guess, in the title role. Question 2. Doctor Who did its first overseas filming in 1979, but which European city did Tom Baker visit in City of Death? Question 3. Blake 7 began its second series in 1979, but what was the name of the crew's supercomputer that looked like a plastic crate? And question 4. Sapphire and Steel debuted this year. Who play the title characters? And question 5. ITV launched its slightly grim film version of Quatermass starring John Mills in 1979. But who wrote all of the Quatermass stories? So who was the author of the Quatermass stories? Thanks, Lee. Some great questions there. And next we have a couple of questions from Robert M. in Neath, in a round that I've called Captain's Corner, and you'll see why in a minute. Because all of these questions are about the various captains in Captain Scarlet. Okay, first questions. Where did these captains originally come from? Captain Blue, Captain Black, and Captain Scarlet. So 3 separate answers there. And following on from that, what were their real names? So what were the real names of Captain Blue, Captain Black, and Captain Scarlet? Thank you so much, Robert, for those questions. And let's go on to round 4, which is Russell's round, where all the questions have been provided by Russell C., another long-time supporter of the podcast. Question 1. In Fawlty Towers, what was the Major's surname? Question 2. Which actor voiced Captain Blue and also appeared as Ed Straker in UFO? Question 3. Who played Peter Barnes' wife Sheila in the David Jason ITV comedy series A Sharp Intake of Breath? Question 4. What was the name of the ship in the BBC series Warship? Question 5. Which 2 members of the Monty Python team wrote Ripping Yarns? One of my all-time favourites, I think. And question 6. Lewis Collins and Martin Shaw, aka Bodie and Doyle from The Professionals, were both in ITV sitcoms earlier in the 70s. What were the 2 programmes? So 2 points there, 1 for Martin Shaw and 1 for Lewis Collins. I have to say, there's been great questions so far. Which brings us on to more from Mark D. And I have to say that Mark has provided more questions than any other listener, so a big thank you to him. Question 1. In the 1972 ITV children's drama series The Intruder, who played the intruder of the title? And staying with the intruder, what item did the main character wear to give his character menace? And question 3. Where was the intruder shot? Question 4. In the series Time Slip, in the story Time of the Icebox, Peggy Thorpe Bates played Dr. Edith Joynton. In which legal drama was she a regular? And question 5. During daytime test card transmissions on BBC Two, what was the name of the daily bulletins shown 4 times a day, and who were these broadcasts aimed at? That's quite an intriguing question. And question 6. In the LWT series Budgie, starring Adam Faith, what type of shop did Charlie Endell run? And question 7. For the second series of Budgie, the theme tune was changed. What was it called, and who sang the vocals? And question 8. Which ITV sports presenter appeared as himself in the Budgie episode The Outside Man? And finally, question 9. In the Carla Lane BBC 1974 comedy No Strings, about 2 flatmates sharing, well, obviously a flat, who played the 2 flatmates? And next we have more from Lee C., who I should add is a deputy head teacher, so anybody who argues with his answers can expect immediate detention. And this round is called Unfinished Business and covers a whole set of US TV shows we got to watch in the 70s, often on Saturday afternoons, which was short-lived and cancelled, meaning that we in the UK never got to the ultimate conclusion of these shows. Question 1. Who played the Gemini Man? Question 2. What was the name of the ape played by Roddy McDowall in the TV version of Planet of the Apes? Question 3. What aquatic hero did future Dallas star Patrick Duffy play? And question 4. Which short-lived show featured the character of Varian, who could heal people with a crystal tuning fork? Now I remember that one very well. But what show was Varian with his crystal tuning fork in? And question 5. In the TV version of Logan's Run, what was the name of the android played by Donald Moffat? Great questions again, so thanks, Lee. And now on to our final round, which I've called Quick Singles, where I've taken a small selection from the many single questions submitted by our listeners to test your brains. So let's go. Question 1 from Mark in Orpington. Billy Liar was a 1970s sitcom about a young man who, bored with his mundane life, fantasises and dreams of a more exciting life. What was the character's actual name? Question 2 from Danny P. in Bournemouth. This is about the good life. And in a Christmas special, Tom made homemade Christmas crackers with paper hats and a joke. Inside Margot's cracker, that didn't go bang incidentally, the joke was, the ooh-ah bird is so called because it lays what? So the ooh-ah bird is so called as it lays what? And question 3 and 4 are both from Michael B. Question 3, what was the name of the funny, talking youngest member of G-Force in the cartoon Battle of the Planets? And question 4, this is a great one. What was the name of the mayor's chauffeur in Trumpton? And finally, here's one from me. What phrase did Mike Yarwood use to warn us that he was about to go into full cabaret mode and sing a song in his own voice? So no Harold Wilson or Ted Heath, it was just Mike Yarwood. But what did he say? And that brings us to the end of the quiz. So, what now? I'll tell you what, why don't we have some answers? Round 1, on your marks. So, question 1. Which lead actress in The Squirrels had a semi-regular lead in Carry On films and also starred in Bless This House? And it was Patsy Rowlands. And other than The Squirrels, what famous ITV sitcom did Eric Chappell create? He created The Great Rising Damp. Ron Ellis was also in The Squirrels, but which popular children's comedy programme did he appear in? He was in Pardon My Genie, the Thames TV programme from 1972. And in Robert's Robots, what was the name of the robot played by Brian Coburn? And that was Katie, as in KT. Question 5. In the BBC drama The Expert, Marius Goring played Dr. then Professor John Harding. But what was his profession? Well, John Harding was a pathologist. Question 6. In Blake 7, what's the name of the ship's onboard computer? And that was called Zen. Question 7, still with Blake 7. Supreme Commander Severlan was head of the Terran Foundation, but who played Severlan? And that was Jacqueline Pierce. And question 8. In Rumpole with Bailey, what was Rumpole's nickname for his wife? I used to like this one. She Who Must Be Obeyed. All right, let's go on to our Space 1979 round. Which American series debuted this year starring Gil Gerard in the title role? And that was Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, one of my favourites there. Question 2. Which European city did Tom Baker visit for Doctor Who in City of Death? And that was Paris. And here's another Blake 7 question. Question 3. What was the name of the cruise supercomputer that looked like a plastic crate? And that was Aurak. Question 4. Sapphire and Steel started this year. And who played the title characters? Reasonably straightforward this one, I hope. David McCallum and Joanna Lumley. What a pair. And ITV launched its film version of Quatermass in 1979, but who wrote all the stories? That was Nigel Neal. All right, on to Captain's Corner. And so all our Captain Scholar questions. So where do these captains originally come from? Captain Blue was from Boston. Captain Black came from Manchester. And Captain Scarlet came from Winchester. but what were their real names? Captain Blue was Adam Svensson, Captain Black was Conrad Turner, and Captain Scarlet was Paul Metcalf. All right, on to round 4, Russell's round. What was the Major's surname in Fawlty Towers? And that was Major Gowan. Question 2, which actor voiced Captain Blue and also appeared as Ed Straker in UFO? Another of my favourites. That was Ed Bishop. Question 3, who played Peter Barnes' wife Sheila in the David Jason ITV comedy series A Sharp Intake of Breath? And that was Jacqueline Clarke. Question 4, what was the name of the ship in the BBC series Warship? And that was HMS Hero. Question 5, which 2 members of the Monty Python team wrote Ripping Yarns? Michael Palin and Terry Jones. And question 6, Lewis Collins and Martin Shaw, Bodie and Doyle, for the professionals, were both in sitcoms on ITV. What were the 2 sitcoms? Well, Martin Shaw had a part in Doctor in the House, and Lewis Collins had a part in The Cuckoo Waltz, if you remember that. All right, on to round 5. In the 1972 ITV children's drama series The Intruder, who played the intruder of the title? And that was Milton Johns. Saying with The Intruder, what item did the intruder wear to give his character menace? And he wore an eye patch. And the intruder was shot where? It was shot in the Cumbrian village of Ravenglass. Question 4. In the time-slip story Time of the Icebox, Peggy Thorpe Bates played Dr. Edith Joynton, but which legal drama was she a regular in? And she was in Rumpole of the Bailey. And question 5, this is an interesting one. During daytime test card transmissions on BBC Two, what was the name of the daily bulletin shown 4 times a day, and who were these broadcasts aimed at? Now, I don't know if you remember these, but these are service information for the television trade, which were shown at 10 o'clock, 11:30, 2:30 and 4:30. Although by the time we got to 1978, there was only one bulletin being shown at 10:30 every day. Question 6. In the LWT series Budgie, what type of shop did Charlie Endell run? Well, he ran an adult bookstore in Soho. Crikey. And question 7. For the second series of Budgie, the theme tune was changed, and what was it called, and who sang the vocals? Well, the song was called Nobody's Fool. It was written by Ray Davis, but it was sung by Cold Turkey. And question 8, which ITV sports presenter appeared as himself in the Budgie episode The Outside Man? That was Dickie Davies. And question 9, in the BBC 1974 Carla Lane comedy No Strings about 2 flatmates, who played the 2 flatmates? And that was the great Keith Barron and the equally great Rita Tushingham. All right, on to round 6, unfinished business, dealing with these cancelled shows. Question 1, who played the Gemini Man? And that was Ben Murphy. Question 2, what was the name of the ape played by Roddy McDowall in the TV version of Planet of the Apes? And that was Galen. And which aquatic hero did future Dallas star Patrick Duffy play? That was the man from Atlantis, which coincidentally was our bonus question for the last quiz. How bizarre. And question 4, which short-lived show featured the character of Varian, who could heal people with a crystal tuning fork? I really like this. This was a fantastic journey. And then question 5, in the TV version of Logan's Run, what was the name of the android played by Donald Moffat? That was REM. All right, and on to our last round, quick singles. Question 1, Billy Liar was a sitcom about a young man bored with his mundane life, but what was the character's actual name? Well, it was Billy, or probably more properly William Fisher. Question 2, what was the answer to Margot's cracker joke in The Good Life? The ooh-ah bird is so called as it lays. And what does it lay? It lays square eggs. And question 3, what was the name of the funny-talking youngest member of G-Force in Battle of the Planets? That was Keop. And what was the name of the mayor's chauffeur in Trumpton? Question 4. And that was Philby. That's quite a tricky one, even for Trumpton aficionados like me. And finally, my question. What phrase did Mike Yarwood use to warn us he was about to go into full cabaret mode and sing a song in his own voice? He used to turn around and say, "And this is me." At which point, millions of people went into the kitchen. There was a surge of power on the national grid as they put on their kettle to make a cup of tea rather than listen to Mike Yarwood sing a song. Sorry, Mike. So, how did you do? Are you the star on top of the Christmas tree? Or are you the set of fairy lights which doesn't quite work anymore and is consigned to the waste bin? Whichever, I hope you've enjoyed playing our special quiz. Once again, a big thank you to all of you who submitted questions, and apologies to those of you whose questions didn't make the final cut. It's been great to have so many to choose from, so I think we'll probably do this again. Let me know what you think about that by leaving a comment on our blog at www.my70stvchildhood.com or on our Facebook, Twitter /X, YouTube or LinkedIn pages, or just email me, oliver@my70stvchildhood.com. That's all we have time for now, but don't forget to tune in next week for our Christmas special episode and in a fortnight for our next quiz. Have a lovely festive period and a build-up to Christmas, and we'll see you again soon for more from My 70s TV Childhood and the My 70s TV Childhood quiz.